Wednesday 3, Wycombe 1. I should have probably done this last night, but Strictly's back on, and I love Strictly. I always watch it. Cheers me up as winter nights start draining, know what I mean? So, he get a goal, didn't he? That Richie Anderson. Nice to see somebody enjoying themselves, letting themselves go totally. Although, I would have never have put his face with his voice, because I've heard him on radio all them years, and never would have put that face with that voice. I suppose it's that professionalism, innit, when you get in studio. Terrible dancer, like, but let him sing go, that's what it's all about, innit? Although, I might have to stop listening to Radio 2, I've been thinking about this. Well, at younger DJs coming down from Radio 1, I'm not bothered about any of that game. I mean, it's took me long enough to get used to Sarah Cox, and even then I'm still a bit, know what I mean? Anyway, Wycombe against Wednesday. Oh shit. Bad news before kick-off, George Byers injured. Darren Moores were a bit cagey at press conference, weren't he? He wouldn't really answer the question. He was like, well, we'll have to see. Did he train today? We'll have to see. It's not what he did or he didn't. We're not talking about future, but obviously being a bit coy about it. And now we know why, because George missed out. That meant some changes to Wednesday side, but here what line-up. So, Volts come into midfield for Byers. There were a couple of other changes. Dominic Ioffa dropped out. He was replaced by Ben Hennigan. That meant a little bit of a shuffle at back with Ehekwe going to the right of the three. So, Ehekwe, Hennigan and James are back three. Palmer, Volks, Bannon, Johnson in midfield. Josh Windass given that sort of free attacking midfield role to get forward and support the strikers. And a twin forward pairing of Michael Smith and Lee Gregory. Huge blow that, but a chance for Volks to come in and stake a claim. Although after Tuesday performance against Burton Albion, I wouldn't have thought anyone on Park that night particularly staked a claim, but opportunity presented itself and it was there for him to take today against Wycombe. Horrible Wycombe, Gareth Ainsworth Wycombe. We knew what sort of game it'd be and they didn't really surprise us too much. This were their line-up. Wycombe 4-2-3-1. Max Siricek in goal. Max Siricek, it sounds like a villain, doesn't he, in a Bond film. Back four, Grimmer, Mawson, ex-Barnsley, Tafazoli and Jacobson. The holding midfield two was McCarthy and Gape. Supporting midfield three was Hogan, Wing, obviously ex-Wednesday, and Mehmeti. And up front, Sam Vokes. Real handful at this level, being around the block. I was talking to a mate of mine before kick-off and I said, we know what these are like with time wasting, rolling about and all every tricky book they've got. And I said, I just hope Wednesday can score that early goal and put paid to their early shithousing. And it was an absolutely dream start for Wednesday. Absolutely fantastic ball from Marvin Johnson. Now, Johnson's not at best start to this season by any means. Didn't have best start to last season, but played his way into form. Signs yesterday of that starting to happen again. A couple of really good crosses during the game, but this first one for goal, absolutely brilliant. Gets up, head up, and I've talked about it all last season because it's one thing that frustrates me is when people just randomly cross or they cross and they try and hit the man into a cluster of players. He just puts it right behind and says, get on end of it. And they're the best sort of crosses. When you give somebody something to attack, if you're not trying to hit them, they're not having to get backwards to get on stuff. Put it in front, put it in that space, and it's a fantastic ball into the box. Now, at first I thought Smith had scored it. It turns out their centre-half's got a toe. But credit Smith because he's seen Johnson with ball. He's made a terrific run around the back post. Nobody's really picked him up. And when the ball comes in, that defender's aware that he's behind him. And he tolls it into his own net. Because if he hadn't, Smith's there for the tapping. Good movement in box from Big Michael Smith there. And in fact, his movement was terrific all afternoon. It's actually a bit of an up and down game. I'm glad we've got that early goal because for the next 5-10 minutes it's sort of end-to-end stuff and they have a couple of chances. They fizz a 20-yarder in, Stockdale makes a really good save. And then Smith gets in and makes a really good block. And that's something we talked about in summer with Michael Smith. Great signing as a centre-forward, got a goals record, but his height, his signing's more than just at one end of pitch. His signing is to help us at other end of pitch where we conceded all them headers last season and crosses. he got his head on two really good defensive clearances in our box in that first 10 minutes. Well, nearly 10 minutes anyway, because in 9 minutes they equalise, and a lot of groans about this goal. He's walked through Wednesday, he's walked through. I think sometimes you've got to give a bit of credit. It's really good footwork from that Mehmeti. He's got away down the left-hand side, turns in past first challenge. And then he's up against Hennigan, who's a big lad. And Mehmeti's one of them little diminutive players, and it's sometimes harder, I think, for them defenders who are big and rangy with long legs. When you've got a little player like that, I think it takes longer for brain message to get from there to your feet when you're one of them big lads. So he wiggles in past him, and once he's in box, nobody can make a challenge unless it's a penalty, especially against these, because we know they'll do anything to get a spot kick of any type, defensive free kick, offside, throwing out. So nobody can really make a challenge. He cuts it back, and it's an easy finish for their lad. He did go through a bit easy, but you've got to give credit. It's great footwork from Mehmeti in there. Oddly, and this can sort of happen, after they've scored, Wednesday really start growing into the game. I wish we wouldn't concede a goal before we start playing, sort of thing, but Wednesday really start turning screwing, probably from 15 minutes to 30, 35 minutes. Wednesday really completely dominant at Wycombe. Volks has a good strike, nearly opens his account. Lovely left-footed shot going right towards top corner, and their lad, the Bond villain, gets up really strong. And the interesting thing with that is it fantastic little layoff by Michael Ehekwe. He put it in, just enough weight on it so Volks could come in and touch and get his left foot around it. Really nice little layoff from a centre half. That caught me a bit unawares. I want to mention referee. Michael Smith's getting held a lot, and Gregory Bleeding Elliot is wearing that Tafazoli like a fucking rucksack. But overall, I thought he was alright, and I thought I'd mention it because we get absolutely shite referees every week, and I find myself talking about it every week. You don't want to, but they're terrible. They're absolutely terrible at this level. But match referee yesterday, Matt Donoghue, I thought he was alright. Bannon did a tackle on left-hand side, late tackle, not nasty, malicious, but a late tackle. Last week it'd have been straight in book, absolutely no questions asked, and probably 5 minutes after that their lad does an almost identical tackle to what one Bannon did, mistimes it, takes Parman out on far side, and again he gives free kick, but a bit of common sense. It wasn't no malicious about it. And this time last week that'd have been yellers and bloody all hell breaking loose. So credit to the referee. Mine did put me about a bit. He looked like that in Terminator 2 when Machine were copper. Reminded me of him. Wednesday take lead again, and I love this goal. I love it for so many reasons. One, it's quick. It's a really quick break, quality football. Windass spreads it out to Smith, to Volks, back to Smith, and he sweeps it across. Bannon's made a fantastic burst from midfield. I love that. I love seeing midfield runners bursting in and getting in box. It's a lovely sweeping move, at pace, completely tore through part of him. But the second thing I really like about this goal is it came from Wycombe's shithousery, because they'd actually got a free kick down on this side in front at South, and they're taking an age. It's something like 3 minutes. They're taking an age, they're having a big conflab. Bloody Ainsworth side at dugout, he's on there, and they're all wasting time. Their usual antics. They eventually take it, comes back out, Windass, Smith, Volks, Smith, Bannon, bang, 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 2 down, serves you right. Lovely, lovely goal. Right up 'em. Stuck it right up 'em. I sometimes feel bad saying stuff like that because they are a smaller club. We've never had a problem with their fans. They've always been sound. But it's just that style. I hate it. A manager implements it. A team is the image of the manager on park, innit? And I really don't like the way they go about the business. Obviously the budgets and everything, you have to do what you do to get results, I suppose, but as I get older, I've just got less patience for things like that. that second goal had been coming though. Wednesday were completely dominant from 15 to, like I said, 30-35 minutes. Lee Gregory had a really good game, and I'm pleased for that, because for me, he's looked a little bit off it this season, not quite at his stride. I'm not just on about goals. I know he'll be measured by goals, but I'm absolutely 100% sure they'll start coming for him. But just his general play, I didn't think he was as sharp as he were last season. But yesterday, I thought he was really good. I thought his link play was really good. He got that big unit hanging off his back all bleeding afternoon. The way he was spreading the play, turning, it was really good at receiving that ball, taking a step in, and then turning that and spreading play like that. It's really good forward link play. So I don't think a goal or a goal run it'll be too far away from him, because he just looks like he's coming back into that sort of form that we know he's capable of. So it was 2-1 Wednesday. A half an hour period of complete dominance that we could have scored some goals. And then they just have that little chance, and it's that warning shot. It's that Mehmeti again. He flashes a shot wide. Little bit of tricky footwork at edge of box, and Andy Little played him, and it's just that thing to defence. You've always got to be switched on. Don't matter how much you're dominating, always got to be switched on to them breaks and that little bit of danger. Oh, we could have made it 3 just before break, actually. Reece James, he's had a very good first half, by the way. The way he uses the ball is really good. But this isn't a ball into feet. This is an absolutely beautiful, threaded through ball from Marvin Johnson. He puts it right between right back and right side of centre half. Puts it through. Johnson skimmed on outside. I love them passes. Slide roll pass straight in. Flag goes up for offside. I don't know. I think it might have been Smith in middle. But absolutely lovely play, and I love to see them defence breaking passes. So 2-1 Wednesday and a completely dominant first half performance. After the break, it's not as quick, but it's still good. Wednesday's still really having the best of the play. But again, they have these little opportunities, and they're a big side, these. That McCarthy, after a really good spell of Wednesday pressure, that McCarthy gets an header that's just over bar and causes 1 or 2 problems. Volks has a bit of a snapshot. It's comfortable for Stockdale, but it's them warning shots across balls. 2-1's never really enough. They have a little bit of a spell, Wycombe, and they're starting to arrow things over to our left-hand side, which has causes a lot of problems this season. However, Johnson's dropping back in. He's got James in there, and at times it's almost a 5 across there. Don't mind that in slightest. If that's what we've got to do, that's what we've got to do. They're stopping more crosses, but when Wycombe are getting crosses into the box, we've got that nice solid 3 in there. So do it. Ehekwe, Ennigan, he's won a lot of headers today. Pleased with him. And James winning a lot of headers. He's not that big. He's only about 5'9", 5'10". Wins a lot of headers. He's got good timing. I've seen lads a lot bigger than him who jump up and always miss ball. Smaller player, but he's up. He wins a lot of headers. Ehekwe has had a really good game. I don't think a lot of people will have him as the man of the match or like that. It really impressed me yesterday. It's impressed me a lot anyway, but yesterday I can think of at least 2 blocks when people were just about to pull trigger. A fantastic header away from the bar, and there was one across coming from right hand side, and he just come out at pack just as Vogs were closing in on it. Fantastic block. He's had a great game at Heckway. He's not really a headline grabber, but for me, fantastic game from him. So as I said, it's tight. Wednesday are really probing and look like they're going to get another goal, but these are just showing us on break that they have always got that little thing in their armoury, and they are a big side. I won't say Wednesday are running out of steam, but we've had a lot of play, a lot of high energy. We're getting forward. I've heard it said we didn't put a lot of crosses in box yesterday. We need to cross it more. I thought we did put a lot of crosses in box, and we didn't always get on end of them. But again, you've got to look at Wycombe and say, with their budget and everything else, we know they've got a style of play. They've got a back four that is built for heading things and kicking things. Ainsworth has built a proper third division back four. They will head and kick all day. So we're putting lots of delivery in. I don't think you're going to pull Wednesday for not putting ball in box. We put ball in box, and they were clearing a lot of it. And when we were winning stuff, I've got to be honest, we had a little bit of bad luck yesterday. The ball just won't seem to drop. It was the same in first half. Little opportunities, somebody had chested it down to somebody else and ball had bounced and spin off in direction you're not expecting. So little things like that. I don't think we got Robert Greenwick bounce yesterday, but I thought some of the delivery was really good. And in fact, both at goals in first half. Crosses. Wycombe have a spell. There were lots of groaning and fucking hell, Wednesday, we're dropping off, we're doing this, we're doing that. In a 90-minute football match, you're not going to dominate the game from minute 1 to minute 90. At some stage in a football match, it doesn't matter who you are, the opposition are going to have a little spell. And they had a little spell, 5-10 minutes, probably around 70 odd minute mark. Mehmeti had a little shot that he sort of scuffed, he probably should have done better with that. There was a header. Volks got away right hand side. Liam Palmer made a fantastic block. So they had that little spell, not dominant, but they had a little spell, and that's always going to happen at some stage in a game. Darren Moores freshened things up, made some changes at top end of the pitch. Backinson came on into midfield. There was a little bit of a shuffle there. We went to a sort of more of a 3 with Volks and Backinson, with Bannon sort of floating a little bit more. Wilkes came on, had a row with Bannon straight away because he went up right hand side, a little bit greedy because Windass has made a great support run, so I think Bannon gave him a bit of a bollocking about that. But then at end of the game, he drives on, and it's one of them, the timing, anyone else, getting corner flag, every team does it, getting corner flag, waste time, and then you get a series of daft little throw-ins and short corners and all, scuffles and all that. But he didn't, did he? Drove on, come back inside, little look up, and it's a lovely little ball in for Patterson. And actually, that's a great finish from Patterson. A lot of people there just come on, first touch, that gets blazed, doesn't it? We've seen that so many times. The pressure coming on, want to be an hero, that gets Colin Weston of it by that. We're done. Lovely side foot, sweeps it home, 3-1, dead and buried. And really good performance from Wednesday. I think so. There's always them warning signs. There's always them moments when you're like, it's in your mouth. But I thought Wednesday were good yesterday. Quicker, a little bit more direct. I've got no problem with that. And I noticed as well, we're going a bit longer from the back. Stockdale weren't afraid to kick it longer from the back. Because last season, I think I talked about one of them videos, they weren't squeezing us high, but what they were letting us do last season in the home game, they were letting Stockdale throw it out, and then they were in, right in on us. So we've obviously looked at that and thought, let's not get caught in that trap again. So we have gone a little bit longer yesterday, and good. Because I'm a bit old-fashioned, the further away it is from our box, the better. And I thought we looked good for it, especially now we've got a proper centre forward. See, I'm sat here now and I'm talking about Wycombe and I'm saying, oh, wasting time, falling about, playing for spot kicks and throw-ins and corners and wasting time on free kicks like when we scored our second goal like they did. And rightly, people could say, well, that's a bit rich because look at your goalkeeper yesterday. And it's true, Stockdale, end of game, he were up to it, he were taking piss. I'll just put the ball down here for a goal kick. No, actually, I'll take it from the other side. Ooh, my calf's a bit... Oh. Going behind, long way to fetch it from behind goal. All tricks. Their players sprinting behind and getting ball. Hurry up, hurry up. And I don't particularly like to see it, but in a way, it's their fault, isn't it? I mean, they created him, didn't they? It's like... the job couldn't bat, man. Goes round, comes around, I'm afraid, with that. Stockdale. Okay, Man of the match. Well, I've just talked about Smith. I think he'd have to be in with a shout. He's big, powerful, intelligent runs. That first goal, I know it's an own goal, but that defender has to make that touch because Smith's made a great run behind him and he knows if he don't get a touch, Smith's just going to, thanks very much. Good in air, hold up play is good. He's more mobile than I thought he was. I was really impressed with that. He does get around a lot more than I thought. And of course, useful in both boxes. 2 or 3 in the first half. Fantastic headed clearances when they were bringing big lads up. So useful in both boxes. I think he's had a great game, Smith. I thought Bannon were good. You expect that. Nice to see Hennigan back. Volks, got to give him a mention. Thought he had a very good game. They're coming into summer, and I thought experienced championship player. For me, I was sure it were nailed on that he would just come in straight in for the one goal, and would have that little midfield 3. Volks sat at the base, Bannon and Byers either side, sort of pushing on and supporting front players. I thought that's how we're going to line up, and that hadn't really been the case. But yesterday, I thought we saw a little bit more of what we knew he was all about when we signed him. So hopefully he can step on from that, make a push. I don't want Byers out by any means. I'd like to have all 3 of them in there, but hopefully he takes this opportunity and can build on that. I mean, he's World Cup in winter. I mean, he's probably still got a sniff if he can get a good run of games and hit some good form for Wednesday, so he'll be looking at that. Ihekwe, he's had a great game. I really like him. He's not flashy, but I'll tell you what I do like. He sniffs danger. The number of times yesterday he's just stepped in front of somebody at last minute, tackled at last minute. He just sniffs what's going to happen next. I really like him as a centre half. I preferred him in centre, but needs must, obviously. Hennigan's come back in, so he's shuffled out. But a lot of interceptions as well. Really like him. So that'd be my toss-up. Probably them 4. Reece James. He's had a really good... I like the way he uses ball. He brings us a really nice balance on that side. And I do like partnerships. All over Park, on the right hand side, up front. I'm old-fashioned. I like partnerships. And I thought him and Johnson... I think there's just them little signs there, little 1-2s, one goes forward, one drops back. And I hope they get a run together like that. I really, really like that. Good on ball, James. Actually, he's made a fantastic block and all yesterday. And that sublime threaded throw ball, he's had a good game. I might have to toss a coin for man at match. Been some really good performances. I'd probably get Smithy though, just for the fact that he won vital headers in both boxes, I think. Especially in that first half at 1-1. Yeah, man at match, Michael Smith. But so many good performances. Just got to keep building on it now. So his league table up into 3rd spot. Obviously, Ipswich, Portsmouth, Plymouth got that game in hand on us. But games in hand, points on board's main thing, isn't it? So we're well placed up there. And look at that. For a team that we get slagged off, we don't attack much. 20 goals, top scorers in division. Just got to build on this performance today. Take it on, and week by week, every game as it comes, just keep building on that. But at the minute, what we're averaging, 2 points a game, 46 games in a season, well on course for challenging. Well placed there, no time for panic stations, and Port Vale next Wednesday, already sold out, no surprise there. We had a great following. They're having a bit of a tough time of it, they're struggling to score goals. Only scoring 1 goal every other game, so fancy Wednesday to go and get win and just keep turning vice on these teams above us. That's all we can do. Right, enjoy the rest of your weekend, and I'm going to get myself some dinner.